Whoa, 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 whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, do you see what's taking place at the General Assembly? The President of the United States, did you watch his speech? He said nothing pertaining to Palestine. Absolutely nothing. But they reject Palestine to be a state. Germany, Japan, and the United States. See, that's why we have the problem. They don't want the state to be there. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen? The people got to fight. You can't stop fight. Because if you stop, you give up. You cave into the white man doing. And you can't cave into their doing. Because you're not from there. Don't, listen. Don't get shit twisted. The Europeans scatter all over the world, and where they are, they take the land away from the people. Common sense. You know that. So why you not talking about it? Because you are so afraid of them. You are so afraid of the white man that you will not utter in the wrong that he's doing. No, you will not utter into the wrong that he's doing, because you are afraid that he will eliminate you. I don't blame you. I do not blame you. But what I'm saying, they want the land of Canaan for themselves. Who are they? The European people that call themselves Jewish. They are the ones that want to inherit the whole land of Canaan, which and these people are European, and they're occupiers. You know, the Security Council, they give speech that those people are occupiers. They all know that. But Security Council is not doing anything. Because you're puppets. What is the reason of the Security Council? They're supposed to protect the people that comes under brutality by the hands of government, wherever it is. They can curb violence, but they're not doing none of that. They are just talking among themselves. You know, talking among themselves, that's all they're doing. So by their talking among themselves, nothing gonna happen. What needs to take place is not going to take place. Because United States reject Palestine from being a state. Because they want the land of Canaan to be shopping centers. They want the land to be shopping centers. And if they turn it into shopping centers and condominium, they can make more money. So these people is just after money. Money, 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 money. And that's what is taking place. So the people need to wake up. Why United States would reject Palestine from being a state of their own? Can you think of that? Or can they tell you why they do not want Palestine to be a state? Nobody say nothing. They just reject Palestine from being a state. So that's where the brutality is going to continue. Because they don't want any peace. If peace comes, they're not going to have the land. What do you think? If peace comes in Palestine, they ain't going to have the land. So let's don't have any peace in Palestine. Let's do the fighting until they kill all of the Palestinians. Because all of them is talking. Turkey is talking. Egypt is talking. Syria is talking. Jordan is talking, but they ain't doing nothing. Just look at your own. They are not doing anything. They just talk to comfort their citizen. They talking mean nothing. Because they're all afraid. And who do they afraid of? They are afraid of the government of the United States, and they are all afraid of the Israeli government. That's why they're not making any move. And I already said it, look. If Syria, Jordan, Egypt, Lebanon, Turkey, Iraq, Iran, if they get together, they could get rid of that place long time ago. Not the place, but get rid of the people. And the Palestinians could be living comfortable in their own land. But nobody's not facing up that way. They just talk to comfort their citizen. And that's what's going on. So they're not going to wake up until they realize what's going on. Maybe they're not going, I don't think they're going to wake up. No. They have been sleeping for too long. And that's the problem we're having. That's the problem we're having. Those governments have been sleeping too long. So by they have been sleeping too long, they can't do nothing. It's a mess. Look, These people, European people that call themselves Israeli, look, they kill the people livestock. They cut down the olive trees. Them trees been there for years and years. They blow up the little springs that they have with waters coming in. They blow up their dwelling. Just think about it. If they plant a crop, the Israeli, they messed up that crop. Either they spray it or they do some other crazy stuff with the crop. These people are barbaric. The government. And nobody's not confront that government. All they're doing is talking. That's what I've been saying. Talking time is over. Face reality. You gotta get rid of them. Huh? You have to get rid of that government. You got to take them out of the land of Canaan that they occupy. And we know the land is not theirs. The Security Council know that. And the people know that. And the government all over the world know that. So when they speak in behalf of the Israeli. And that's what's going on. They're not speaking in the behalf of the Palestinian. No. Israel got over 10,000 guys up in the jail there. Over 10,000 guys are in the Israeli jail. And nobody said, hey, let's release these prisoners so Palestine can release these hostages. Nobody's not talking like that. Only thing they're speaking about, release the hostage, release the hostage. That's all they're saying. What about the prisoners? Huh? What about the prisoner? Talk to me. What about the prisoner? Should they release the prisoners? They're not terrorists. They're freedom fighters that the Israeli put in jail. Look, these people are fighting for the land. Don't get shit twisted. They've been fighting for the land for the past 80 years. You expect them not to fight? What do you think? Should the Palestinians fight for the land or they should not fight? Make a comment on that. They got to fight for their land. It is very simple. And if they don't fight for the land, they would not be who they are. But guess what? Say the land is not theirs, and the land belongs to me, but I leave the land alone, and they took over my land. Because they're not the rightful owner, and the occupier is not the rightful owner, If there was the rightful owner, everybody will know that. The Security Council will know that they're the rightful owner, so they need to be there. They would not call them occupiers. Hello? But people want to play games with the mind of these people that cannot comprehend too much, so they can fool the mind of those people. Because listen, it said they are occupier. What do you mean you're occupier? Occupier means you don't own something that you're using. And that's how it is. They occupy something that does not belong to them. And the people know that. And the government know that. So why we have this problem? Why didn't they send him to the North Pole? Why they did not send him to the North Pole? Very simple. Nobody owns the North Pole. So let them go there. Because they're white and they can stand the cold. They're used to that type of climate. But they're not thinking to go there. They want to go to other land that is not theirs and occupy it and kill the people. And most of the people think it's okay. You know what I mean? But as I said, we got to wake up. Black people, we got to wake up and see where the wrong is taking place. In the laws of nature, we make right and wrong. And that's how it is. We made right and wrong. So either you stick with the right or you stick with the wrong. But if we don't wake up, talking from myself and driving, you know what I mean? Whatever come, I just holler. No script. And that's how it is. But we got to get those people out of the land of Canaan. They're not going to go freely. So what are you going to do? You got to fight them until they leave. You got to fight them until they leave there. Talking, they're not going to leave. And that's what those leaders are doing. Talking. And those people are not going to leave because you tell them to get out of there. They're not going to leave because you tell them to get out. You got to fight them. And they've been fighting for the past 70, 80 years. And they still remain there. So, can't stop fighting. Straight up. You can't stop fighting. In their fight to the last man. And that's how it is. Peace. Respect.